What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. How's it going today? It's Valentine's Day, so hanging out with my Valentine here. She's looking pretty sexy. I really miss driving her, you know, but we're I don't know why this door's open. We're getting a new fence put in front of the garage, in front of the shop. We have a fence already, but we're trying to add an electric gate to it. So there's a lot of wood and stuff right here in front of the garage, so can't take the Hellcat out right now. Obviously it's gonna move in 2 days, and obviously I'll do a video on that because we're gonna head to Boost Performance to finally drop off the car. It's Wednesday, I'm getting real antsy. I just want to drop the car off and I just want it to get done. And I'm sick of waiting. I'm very impatient, but those guys always take care of me, so shout out to them. I did get this sticker from a local guy. He's got a R32 Skyline. It's a GTS, so it's not the GTR model. Or GST, whatever it is. I don't know. It's pretty sweet though. It's right-hand drive, it's R32. And he's got a pretty badass Raptor also. But anyways, that's besides the point. He has a plotter, so he makes these stickers. So he made this for, it's got my Instagram handle, VanV39, CA for Contagion Athletics, the VV logo for Van Vorst Media, and YouTube at Dave Van Vorst. So I'm probably, on my truck, I'm probably gonna put it on the left side of the windshield, or rear windshield, but I think for that, I'm gonna put it right smack dab in the middle, and it is purple, so it'll match the fat Sneaky Cat, which is Sneaky Cat, she's fat, and should match the 806. It should be pretty close. Should be close enough. Let's see. Let's see what the purple looks like. Probably hard for you guys to see, but all right, it's a little darker than that one. So it looks like it's more the color of the 806 sticker, actually. Because the 806 sticker is a little more purple. Yeah, those are pretty close. This one's a little darker. That's fine. It's close enough. I mean, there's so many damn purples in this world. So it'll match just fine. Anyways, so what I want to talk to you guys today about, the real reason for the video, not the sticker, I know it's important stuff and all, but is losing weight in the Hellcat and if it's worth it or not. So everyone bashes the Hellcat for coming out and being so heavy. Like, everyone knows that the motor's really good in it, the transmission's awesome, all the amenities you get, but everyone always talks shit about how heavy the Hellcats are, right? So my car being about 4,400 pounds, that's heavy for a two-door. But what you have to remind yourselves is what that entails. Because when you buy a Vet, they're obviously lighter. When you buy a Mustang, they're obviously light. They're not as comfortable as a Challenger Hellcat. So when you jump into a Hellcat, you notice how comfy the seats are, how plush they are. It doesn't feel like a 700 horsepower race car. So let's take a look inside my Hellcat. So I've got the sepia leather. And you notice how big and plush these seats are. They're not slimmed down race car seats. So they're very comfortable. They're heated and cooled, okay? And look at the headroom. So it might be a little dark in here, but look, I'm 6'1", okay? And look how much headroom I have. I have a pretty good amount of headroom. And the seat's leaned back just a little bit, and I'm kind of slouched. But that's besides the point. That's how I like to drive, like a thug. Anyways, when you sit in a Camaro zl1, a Corvette Z06, or any of the base models, or a Mustang, the headroom is very shallow, okay? The cars are not comfy. I don't care if your Z06 is faster. I don't care if your zl1 is faster. You cannot argue that their interior is better than the Dodge interior. That interior in there is very comfy. Now, could you say it's personal preference? Yes, but I know zl1 owners and I know Z06 owners, and they sat in my car and they've said how comfy it is in there. So I do think, yes, obviously the car's heavier. They could have probably lost some weight. I think they could have gone 400 pounds less at the maximum. And I've made a video about my #1 thing I hate about the Hellcat is how heavy it is, but you can't deny about how comfy they are on the inside. So Kevin's Charger, it's locked right now, I don't have the key for it, but it's very comfy as well. Now obviously it weighs a little bit more. It's closer to 4,550 or 4,600, somewhere in there. So it's a little bit heavier. It's got 4 doors. You can seat 5 people very comfortably. You can seat 4 people in my car very comfortably. A Corvette, you only get 2 seats. And people always want to compare these to the Vette, but the Vette doesn't have a back seat, and it's not comfortable. It's more of a race car than a Challenger. So people need to stop comparing these to the Vette Z06 and the Demon to the ZR1. I don't think they're a fair comparison. They're both badass cars in their own ways, and that's what people need to remind themselves is, one, you can't talk shit if you can't afford them, because everyone loves to do that. I think that's always hilarious. But compare them to a car that's in their category. It's just not fair. Now, people want to compare the Camaro zl1 to the Challenger Hellcat. I don't even know if that's a fair comparison, because the Camaro's not going after quarter-mile times. The Camaro is going after track times. So going around corners and things like that. The Challenger was not built for that, and no one ever said the Challenger would be good at that. We don't care about that. If you buy a Challenger, you're buying it to race in a straight line. If you're buying a Vette or a Camaro, you're buying it to track it. It's totally different. So people need to stop comparing the cars. So the main thing I want to talk about besides that was weight savings in my Hellcat. So I'd like to get it just a little bit lighter. Now, does that really help that much when the car is already 4,400 pounds? Not really. I mean, yes, every little thing helps, you know, knocking 1/10 of the second off your quarter mile every 100 pounds, which doesn't really, I don't think it relates to the Challenger as true, just because how heavy they are. It might be more like 150 to 200 pounds would be 1/10 off the quarter mile, just because how heavy they are. Now, you could knock off about, I'd say 300 to 400 pounds and still keep a lot of the amenities. Now, you could take, so let's open up the trunk. Now, my trunk's empty here, but with the Challenger, when you lift this up, hopefully you guys can see it, it's not too dark, but you've got 2 10-inch Harman Kardon subs, an amplifier, an air pump for the tires, and a big ass deep cycle battery. Now, that's a big ass battery. Probably weighs more than a freaking Optima, and Optimas are heavy. And then you've got all the fuse, you know, your fuse box back here. But the cool thing is, this sub and amp enclosure only weighs about, I think, 15 to 20 pounds. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 15 to 20 pounds, 25 at the very most. But I think it's 25 including the air pump. That's what I think. I'm pretty close. Whatever. It's not the point. So the good thing is they made it really accessible to take out at the track. So you've got a bolt here, and I think it's just the one bolt, and then you undo this little centerpiece here. I'm just going to tighten the back up because it's a little loose. And then you unplug the wiring harness. So take that out, and you save yourself about 15, 20 pounds pretty easily. Now, that's not very much, but when you start adding up the little things, so you take that out, you take the rear seat out, which I think is about 35 pounds, 30 to 35 pounds, somewhere in there. Don't quote me exactly, don't flame me, but pretty close. So you take those 2 out, you know, 30, 35 pounds for the rear seat. And I don't use the rear seat at all. So it wouldn't bother me to take the rear seat out. And it wouldn't bother me to take the subs out just for a track day because it's 1 bolt and it's 1 plug harness. And I don't really, when I was driving this every day, I loved having the subs back there. But with me not driving it every day, it doesn't bother me too much taking them out. Now, the other big thing you could do on the interior, so take out the whole rear seat. You could do a rear seat delete so it finishes it off, or you could have the open space. If I'm just running it at the track, I'm just going to leave it open. Doesn't bother me. And even for driving it on the street, I might just leave the back seat out. They have a rear seat delete, which kind of finishes it off nicely. You can get the Demon one, which is $500, or you can get a Speedlogix one, which is about $250. They just don't, I don't see the point of it, really. It doesn't, the Speedlogix one does not look that nice. So anyways, the next big thing you could do on the inside without totally screwing up the interior is taking out these big heavy bastards. So this driver's seat, because it's still power, might be a little dark over here, sorry, is about 75 pounds. Now, the passenger seat is not power because you need to fold it forward and move it out of the way quickly to get people into the back seat. That one's about 55 pounds. Like I said, it could be a few pounds off, but that's what it is. So you switch those out and you're going to save some more weight. Now, the only thing is, when you unplug those, you lose the heated and cooled seats. So you're getting back to the, you know, the car's heavier, but it's got all these amenities. So, you know, there's some pros and cons. Do I use the heated and cooled seats that much? Absolutely not. When I was daily driving it, because I didn't want to drive my Jeep, I was using the heated seats every morning, heated steering wheel. That stuff was nice. Now, with the truck, I don't really drive the Challenger as much. And, you know, when we're going to take the Challenger to different events, I'm most likely going to trailer it with the truck. And it'll be in the summertime, so am I going to really use the heated seats? No. So I want to get your guys' opinion on it. Do you think I should change the seats out or not? I found racing seats that are very identical to the color of my seats. So the only difference would be is they wouldn't be as comfortable and they wouldn't be heated or cool. So, I mean, there definitely is ways to make them that way, but then you're adding weight back in. So my only thing was, you know, you're about 120, 130 pounds with both seats. Now you switch those out. The seats I was looking at are 25 pounds a piece. That's 50 pounds. Plus you got to add a harness bar and harness belts. So you're adding about another 40 pounds. So you're really only saving about 40, 50 pounds in total by switching the seats once you add in 2 new seats, 2 new brackets, a harness bar and seat belts. You're probably only saving about 40 to 50 pounds at the maximum. So is it worth it to drop $1,000 on seats, brackets, harnesses, and harness bar when you're only going to save about 50 pounds? Is that worth $1,000? I don't really think so. Yeah, I mean, because you add you know, let's say you save 50 in the front and you save 35 with the rear seat, and then you save, you know, maybe 20 in the back. You're at like 105 pounds. And you've spent $1,000 and you've lost your rear seat and you've lost your subs. I don't know if it's really worth it. So, though a lot of the weight is up here. This motor is very freaking heavy. This 6.2 liter V8, it is so heavy. It's a big ass motor. But this motor, people have also made 1,500 horsepower on a stock block without touching the motor and without even touching the heads. And to me, that's crazy. Now, is it going to blow up? You know, you're playing with fire at that point. But to make that much power on a stock motor is incredible, I think. These Hemis are awesome. But they're also very heavy. And that's where the LS blocks definitely have the advantage, is the weight. So the only other weight that's up here is there's a front bumper support under there. You could switch it out to an aluminum one, save about 25 pounds, and it's only actually $250, but at the same time, is the aluminum as strong as the steel one that's under there, or whatever it's made out of? I'm not sure exactly what it's made out of, but I'm sure it's some type of steel. Is the weight savings worth it, you know, if you crash the car? So that's kind of, you got to really decide if it's worth it. So that's really all you can do on the front, and obviously the tranny, being that, you know, it's the 8-speed auto, that fucker's heavy. There's no getting around that. That's heavy. But, you know, I did do the carbon fiber intake, saving me a ton of weight right there. But if you guys haven't seen the motor in a while, it's pretty clean. It needs a little wipe down, but I wonder how the methanol's doing. Well, I can see it. You probably can't see it. But yeah, if you didn't know, my windshield washer is now my methanol. So when I have to use the wipers, that's expensive washer fluid. Hopefully it doesn't rain when I'm driving my car. What I have done, though, is they're coming in, I would say, about 2 to 3 weeks, is new wheels and tires. I'm not going to say what they are because I really want to hold out and show you guys when they come. But I'm saving a lot of weight with the wheels and tires, and rotational mass has a larger effect on quarter mile time than just, say, taking out the seat or taking out the subs or changing the front seats to racing seats or changing the front bumper support bar. Rotational mass has a larger effect because that's where the power comes through, is through the drivetrain. So, alright, I had to go switch SD cards. That one was full. But anyways, what I was saying is rotational mass has a larger effect because when you have drivetrain loss, it has to go through the transmission, through the drive shaft, through the rear diff, to the wheels. So losing rotational mass has a larger effect. And so I'll be switching out the wheels and tires for this season. Now, there won't be wheels and tires that I mean, I could drive to the track on them, but that's just going to put unnecessary wear and tear. And if it were to rain or anything, it could really fuck up the tires. So, be saving about 47 pounds up front, which is a huge difference, and about 22 pounds in the rear. Now, I will say the rears will be 17s and the front will be 18s. Not going to say which wheels they are, which tires they are. I will say I didn't go with welds just because I couldn't justify spending that much on wheels when they weren't bead locks. So I'm not going to a full bead lock in the rear. If I was, then I would definitely get welds or Belicans or something along those lines, because it's a bead lock. You definitely want to go, you don't want to cheap out on a bead lock. Not that I cheaped out on wheels, but I didn't think it was necessary to spend that much on wheels if they weren't bead locks. So 47 pounds in the front, 22 pounds in the rear, and it'll be a stickier tire in the rear. It's not going to be a full slick. It will be another drag radial, but a lot softer compound. Definitely not as streetable as the street SS's are. And based on what I've already told you, you probably know which tire it is, but we'll wait till those come in. They are on order. I ordered them about 2 weeks ago. They have everything except the front tires. The front tires are really hard to get right now. It's very popular tires, so just waiting on those to come in. Hopefully in about 2 weeks they'll be here and I can show you guys. And the car will be done, obviously, within 2 weeks. So it's kind of everything is coming at the right time. I'll have everything together by March. And I still need to order a drive shaft. I have not ordered a drive shaft yet. And I definitely will twist and fucking kill my drive shaft with the new setup, with how sticky those tires are going to be, and obviously with the power that I'm putting down. I got lucky I didn't twist it last season, but I only raced it about 4 times at the track. Did some illegal street racing, and but it was in Mexico, so it really wasn't illegal. But anyways, got really lucky I didn't twist the drive shaft. But so that's probably the last part that I need to get. Everything else, I've got all the parts that are going on the car to make more power this Friday. I've got the wheels and tires on order. They've been on order. I'll take out the rear seat, take out the subs just to save a little bit of weight, even though it's not going to do much. And then the wheels and tires will be the last thing to go on the car. And pretty much that's going to be the setup for the year. No, it's not going to be the fastest car. It's not going to be even the fastest Hellcat. It won't be the slowest Hellcat, but the power that it's going to make, and for, you know, what it is, it's going to be a fast car. For the weight that it is, for the power that it's going to have, it's still going to be a fast car. It's just anytime you get into that number that I'm going to, is everyone wants to talk shit on racing Hellcats. And just remember, I'm on pump gas and a stock motor, and my car has heated, cooled seats, and I've got leather and a heated steering wheel and navigation. And all these other cars that want to talk shit, they're all, you know, base model cars. They don't have heated and cooled seats. They don't have heated, cooled steering wheel. They don't have navigation. They probably have a freaking CD player if they're lucky. You know, you couldn't daily drive that car. Now they call them a street car because it's registered, has insurance, and you could drive it on the street technically. But, you know, I'll be racing against people with fully built motors, spraying a shit ton of nitrous and on race gas, which everyone here in Amarillo sprays nitrous. And I don't know why. It's just a personal preference, I guess. Me, personally, I'd rather have the power all the time and not have to worry about filling up nitrous bottles, things like that. Like if I'm going to build a car, I'd rather supercharge it, turbo it, procharge it. But a lot of people here like to do all motor nitrous. I mean, that's their preference. Nothing wrong with that. But I like having boost. Boost is fun. So, and having it on a stock motor, you can't complain. But that's why I like my car. It's on stock motor, stock trans, and the power it'll be making still be safe, still be reliable. I don't have to worry about anything. I've had built motor cars before. I've had big boosted cars before. It's a totally another world. So I'm glad to stick with the stock motor and still have a shit ton of power. Maybe not be the fastest thing around, but it definitely won't be the slowest. It'll be a fun car. I mean, the car is fun right now at 800. You know, if you've never had a lot of power before, the car is still very fun at 800. Like, people make them out to be really slow. It's still a really fun car, and for other cars to keep up with it, they have to do a lot of work. You have to remember, I only spent $4,000 to make 800 horsepower to the wheels. And you can run at a good track with a good DA and some good tires and hooking up. You could run really low 10s, if not high 9s, with a really good driver. I probably couldn't do it. But low 10s, maybe break into the 9s. I mean, I've seen it done before, but you have to have perfect track, perfect tire setup. So 800 horsepower in a 4,400 pound car is nothing to play with. It's still a lot of power and it's still a lot of fun. Just kind of the group that I want to race against, and with traveling a lot this summer, all the cars I want to go play with, I'm going to need definitely a little bit more power. Like I said, it's not going to be the fastest thing, but it's going to be a fun summer. So lots more content to come. I know it hasn't been that exciting lately, but winter's coming to an end. So we're in the middle of February now. Winter's coming to an end soon, and the track opens up next month, and both cars will be done. So finally get a lot of car videos back on the channel. I know the F-150 isn't the best thing to watch, but hey, it's still fun content, and at least I'm fixing it up. But the Challenger's going in on Friday. Cannot wait. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Wheels and tires should be here soon. Need to order a drive shaft probably this weekend or next week. Just need it in time for the season. No rush on that. And it's going to be a good summer. So make sure you guys always comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. Sorry for the long video. Just wanted to get a couple things off my chest. But goodbye, sneaky cat.